If your parent was in jail while you were little, that could be trauma on a kid. There's all these different events that classify as adverse childhood events. Okay.
Inside the courtroom.
In front of me right here.
What's the name?
Keith, last name Moson, M as in Mary, O-S-S-O-N. I can pull another one out the stack. We don't have that one.
I got it.
Sure. Attorney Josh, I have the hearing on behalf of my client. Am I mispronouncing the last name? Yes. Please help me. Pete Mawson, my apologies, Your Honor.
Mawson?
Yes, Mr. Mawson.
There's moss in the trees. See? Right? Moss in the trees. Go ahead.
So as Mr. Mawson had just stated his name on the record, for today's date and time, we could have a chance to privately talk the PSI and simply
Good.
factual additions, deletions, or corrections to make the PSI. As for the recommendations, Your Honor, we do not. Your Honor, we would ask the court to adopt the recommendation in full, and we are prepared for an allocution as my client does present to this court with, well, I would just say, positive work and positive progress since we
Good. Good. Share it.
Yeah, please. Well, you know what? A lot of times I like to do all the jabbering, but I believe my client may be the
Perfect.
to hear from on the progress that's been going on.
Bring me up to speed.
So, my background, I got extensive criminal record. Games, like the past. Wise. Last one on the office.
Last year?
Yes.
Oh, that's Livonia? No. Okay. This one. Okay, March 7th. Go ahead. Okay.
After that, I sat down and I thought about it. Said lots of, everything I did. To consider my criminal background, it's hard for me to get it.
Sure.
Full time. I work in Novi. I don't have license or anything, so I either Uber, catch the bus, go to ride. I got to figure out a way.
Yeah, it gets expensive.
Every day.
Yeah.
Since I've been here, I want to become supervisor.
Good.
School full time, get my bachelor's in accounting.
Good. Where are you going to school?
It's very good.
Okay.
Those are things I've been going up and trying to get. With housing, at the current time I'm living with my brother.
Okay.
Could be here today, but here.
Mhm.
So.
There's been also been counseling with you on this. There's been,
Seeing one, some, one of mine.
Mr. Mawson, tell me one thing you've learned through the counseling.
Patience, can't give up. Yeah, and stay busy, try to stay busy and find, activities to do.
Mhm. Last week I was lucky. I got to go speak to a bunch of middle school kids, and I'm a big Abe Lincoln fan. He's got some great quotes. I don't know if they're all really his, but he's got some great quotes that are attributed to him. And one of them, I'm going to paraphrase it, but one of them is, "You haven't failed until you quit." Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
And Your Honor, I feel like I could probably continue to just bolster where my client's been going, but again, I don't think proud's the right word, but I'm inspired, I think, to just see that somebody who has dealt with a lot of adversity and just owns their past outright and doesn't make excuses.
Yeah.
But instead focuses on where the path forward is. For those reasons, Your Honor, I think my client's going to be a great candidate to comply with the conditions of probation. As he stated, transportation certainly is an issue. I'm kind of looking through the recommendations.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think the probation department will work with him. I think.
I'm in your plan.
Right, so
I mean, I found the bus driving some days, on the weekend when they don't find that first one out, maybe start to work. That's something I would need to go anywhere else. Going to school all night.
Well, until I just changed your sentencing, terms, you're going to have to show up here for work program, but I'm going to help you with that. All right. Anything else?
I'm gonna, Your Honor, I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. I think you just.
Good plan.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So you're on probation at circuit court? Where's that at? When they put you on probation?
So,
When did they put you on probation? 2-year probation? What hoops do they have you jumping through?
I was going through performing AA class with them. I completed that with them. She was telling me that she was about to get my community service suspended because I'm working full-time at HT school.
Okay.
And she also told me let her know when I get sentenced with this, because there's no need to be on 2 different.
Good.
probations.
Good.
She might talk to her supervisor.
Good. I'd be happy to take you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay.
No, Your Honor, I think.
We're good?
So the audience,
Yeah.
I think we've covered the main
Yeah.
points and,
All right.
prepare this court room.
I'm going to give you my terms of sentence and then I want to share something with you. Okay. So we've got 2 charges. One is the driving offense, which was a fail to display valid license. I'm going to put you on probation on both of them for 12 months. All the recommendations that you went over with Mr. Hadley, those are court orders, except I'm changing the work program to hours of community service charity work, 60 hours of charity work. I don't care where you're at, church, soup kitchen, Salvation Army, as long as it's a registered, with the IRS, registered nonprofit, we'll give you a list of organizations in our area. You don't have to work off that list. You can find someplace closer to home for transportation purposes. All right. Yeah, you'll find something. What I would suggest you do is make arrangements with somebody and then contact Ms. Tiroli and make sure she says, yeah, that'll work. Because I don't want you to be 10, 20 hours in and for us to tell you that that doesn't meet our requirements. All right. So the total on the file, $1,500 on count 1, 500 on count 2. Go downstairs and talk about options on that. I've given you a lot of stuff to do. To me, the least important one is the money. If you're having trouble with the money, I want you to do everything else. We'll work with you on the money. I want all the other stuff in play. All right. Now, something I want to share with you. Did you even notice that one of the things that shows up in that report is your ACE score of 5?
Adverse childhood experience. Standardized test.
Are you familiar with them? All right. This is not part of my sentence. I'm going to strongly encourage you to do a little research online. Check out ACEs, adverse childhood events. I'm looking at the white in the beard. I think if you go into that, and I can tell by talking to you, you got a lot going on up here. Okay. If you do some research on that with a real open, like with a really inquisitive mind, I want to understand this. You'll read stuff in that whole body of research. You'll read stuff and you'll think, that's me. Huh. I always wondered why I kept doing stuff that I knew wasn't good for me, but I did it anyhow. Okay. So short version. We all experience trauma. All right. At every age, we all experience trauma, right? And trauma could be, the death of a loved one, somebody close to you. Trauma could be physical or emotional abuse. I mean, there's all different, if your parent was in jail while you were little, that could be trauma on a kid. There's all these different events that classify as adverse childhood events. Okay. If you suffer enough trauma during that formative part of your years, your brain is actually rewired. It develops in a way that your brain's not supposed to develop, but it develops that way because it's self-defense. It's like, I got to survive whatever's going on. This is the way my brain develops so I can survive, right? So your brain develops a way of doing things that get you through the trauma.
Circuit court, my attorney wrote I don't know what you call it.
Yeah. And talked about this stuff. Here's the best way and I wish I could take ownership of this because I heard somebody else say it this way and it's like, so you agree with me that, our brain develops a certain way to deal with our reality. And your reality is different than mine, right? When you were 6, you didn't have my reality when I was 6. It just, right? We're all individuals. So your brain's developed a way to deal with your reality. But as your reality changes, you can't still use the same tools. So here's the analogy I heard. Picture this. There's a real wide river, and there's a bunch of people on the south side of the river trying to figure out how are we going to get across the north side of the river, because it's deep and it's rushing, right? So they're all like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? One guy gets the big idea, right? He goes down, he cuts down a bunch of bamboo, and he builds a raft. And he gets across the river. He's got it licked now, right? So he's continuing on his journey. Everybody's still on the other side of the river because they didn't figure it out yet. But he's continuing his journey. Well, as he continues on his journey, he gets to a mountain. Guess what he does? He takes that damn raft up the mountain because, damn it, that raft got him across the river. It's not helping him get up the mountain. It's hurting him. But he's taking the raft up the river, damn it, because that's the tool that saved him back there. Isn't that a great analogy? Somebody agree with me. I think it's great.
Awesome.
I thought it was a great analogy because seriously, I've done this for a long time. I've watched the way people screw things up because they're still trying to carry their raft. They're not crossing any more rivers, but they're still carrying a raft. And I think if you do the research, I think it might help you because you're reinventing yourself right now. That's what I heard when when he was encouraging you to tell me what's been going on. I'm hearing about a guy at 48 that's reinventing himself. Okay? I think this will help you in that process because it's easier to make changes when we understand why we do what we do. I think this is really powerful stuff. Okay, I spent too much time on it already. Anything else on sentencing?
No, it just,
I'd love for you to come back here in a month or two and tell me, hey, I did that. Here's my thought process. I'd love to hear it. That would make my tail wag like you can't imagine. All right. Good luck. What's next? Mr. Hadley?
Question you have.
Your Honor, next rating.
In this courtroom case, Keith Mosen appeared before Judge Brian Oakley facing 2 charges, a driving-related offense and failure to display a valid driver's license. During the hearing, the judge reviewed the circumstances of the case as well as Mosen's current legal status. The court learned that he was already serving probation through circuit court and had been cooperating with his probation officer. After considering these factors, Judge Oakley sentenced Mosen to 12 months of probation on both charges. Initially, the sentence was expected to include participation in a court work program, but the judge took Mosen's employment responsibilities into account and decided to modify the punishment. Instead of requiring him to complete the work program, the court ordered him to perform 60 hours of community service. Judge Oakley explained that the service could be completed at any registered nonprofit organization, such as a church, soup kitchen, charity, or community assistance program. The ruling demonstrated the court's willingness to balance accountability with practicality, allowing Mosen to maintain his job while still fulfilling his obligations to the justice system. Rather than imposing a harsher penalty, the judge emphasized rehabilitation and community contribution, giving the defendant an opportunity to make a positive impact while complying with the terms of his sentence.